Former Prime Minister of Israel, Naftali Bennett, talks to Jordan Peterson where he drops some critical facts about the Israeli-Arab conflict. And he says that part of the root of this issue is people frame it as Israel's the aggressor, the Arabs are the victim. And he explains through some very important points about the history of the conflict that actually it is the other way around. Have a watch at his words. Really important stuff, what he says here.
Because basically, if you're the aggressor and he's the victim, he's allowed to do anything. He's allowed to murder people, torture people, because he's the victim. And factually, that just is not true. The Arabs have huge areas of land. I think hundreds of times the size of Israel. I'd let your viewers know, they probably don't know, Israel in its entirety is the size of New Jersey. Mm-hmm. That's how big we are. Mm-hmm. It's a tiny, tiny country. And, before the Jews came back home, beginning in the late 1800s, it was a desolate, barren, miserable land infested with mosquitoes and malaria. And as there was always Jewish presence, but it wasn't under Jewish governance. But as Jews came around the world and began to flourish this desolate land, Arabs began coming from Iraq, from Egypt. In their names, Palestinian names, many of them are called El Masri, which means Egypt. Masr is Egypt. El Baghdadi, El this, El that. So you see that, which is fine. That's okay. But go get a life. Stop being victims. Go build your future. And it seems to me that their core ideology is to prevent us from having a state, and not rather than them having their own future.
Mm-hmm. This is such a critical point because people assume that it's like there were loads of Arabs living there and the Jews came and usurped the land and that was that. But actually, yeah, there were some Arabs living there. Jews had been living there for thousands of years. The last sovereign state in that land was a Jewish one. And then, yes, you had Arabs conquering the land in the 7th century. They were not indigenous to that land, but they conquered it in the 7th century onwards. But actually, a lot of the rise, people are under the impression that it's like the Jews suddenly came and took over the land in the 19th century and 20th, and then, all these Arabs were somehow displaced. Actually, yes, there were Jews there. There were Arabs living there. Yes, no doubt. But actually, quite a significant rise in the Arab population occurred because Jews started returning there peacefully, not through conquering land, but through purchasing land, and actually through making the land flourish by getting rid of all these problems, malaria and swamps and all the things that Bennett mentions. And that's actually what led to Arabs coming to that land. So actually the chicken and the egg, again, is the wrong way around. Many Arabs came as a result of Jews returning to their ancient homeland. And as for the displacement occurred that, the Palestinians talk about not because the Jews came and said, right, we're coming here, we're having our state, you're all leaving, bye. No, the Jewish leadership always said, we're happy to live alongside Arabs. And Bennett said it again. He said, that's fine. But they said, we are going to re-establish a sovereign state here. And the UN said, well, there's a lot of Arabs here as well. So I suppose what we'll do is we'll have Arabs have their own state and Jews can have their own state and we'll divide it in two. And the Jews said, fine. The Arabs said, no, we're going to war against the Jews. So then at that point, the Jews had to fight back. And that's when the displacement happened, where Arabs were displaced, yes, because their leadership waged a war against the Jews, against Israel. And actually, many of them left because their leadership told them to leave. And then once we've driven the Jews into the sea, you can come back. And now that's our fault. Now that's Israel's fault. Don't forget, by the way, even more Jews were displaced in that war in Arab countries. They were kicked out, but Israel absorbed them. Unlike other surrounding countries, Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, that won't absorb their Palestinian Arabs. If you've made it so far in this video, I have a request for you. JTV has been having a really big impact in spreading the truth about Israel and creating positive associations with the Jewish people, Judaism, and Israel. We've really grown a lot, particularly in the last year, and we're having a really significant impact, both for Jews and non-Jews. But I really want to take JTV to the next level so we can start to compete with the other big online media beasts that are often peddling anti-Israel content. And the way we're going to do that is to scale even faster. So I'd love to build a team where we have other presenters doing shows like me, let's start doing documentaries, supplementary content, animated content, etc., etc. And to do that, I'd like to build a bit of a team. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one fundraising day, just one, where we try and build up some funding in order to fund such a team. Now, to do that, it's going to obviously require people to get involved. And I'm wondering if you would consider, if you're watching JTV content and appreciate what we do and want to help partner with us in taking this to the next level and spreading the truth farther and wider than ever before, I wonder if you'd consider partnering with us simply by running a mini page on the fundraiser that we do, where you just reach out to your contacts on that day that we choose to fundraise and see if they'll all chip in. If you'd be up for doing that, of which I would be so grateful, then please click on the Google form link in the video description of this video, where you can simply just put in a few contact details. It'll be a very small commitment, as I say, literally just one day that we'll all agree upon as a collective community. But the impact is going to be so big. There's such strength in numbers. If we all pull together and do this, we can take this to the next level. And as I say, all of us can partner together in bringing and spreading the truth to the whole world. So please do consider clicking on that link, filling in the form, and I'll be in touch very soon to talk about the next steps. Small commitment, but a big impact. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.